Alright, so this tutorial is more or less going to be how to do the final thing, how to build your game, right? So, say that's fine. We got to build this game and make it work and all that other stuff. So, yay! Alright, so to do that, what we're going to do is you want to go to File, go to Build Settings, and we'll start with Windows, and it's going to compile a bunch of scripts. Alright, that is annoying. I'm going to pause while it compiles the scripts. So I have the Windows platform. You might have one of these too here. Now by default, you're going to have that already on there. You might have these. You might have less than these. It depends on what you chose when you installed it. I believe you can install them later on as, let me see, is it asset? No. Where? Package Manager. It's probably underneath Package Manager. Anyway. So you're going to do PC, Mac, Linux, blah, 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 okay? Make sure it's Windows to start with. We're going to do Windows and Mac, so just do Windows to start with. Go to Player Settings. Now, this has the same thing that's going to edit project settings. That's what this is. It's just another way of getting there. I don't really care about most of this. This stuff can be fancy and all that other stuff, because like inputs, what we've been using before when we're in here. But what I do want you to do is go on Player, and in here, you're going to put in the default company. So I'll just do like Cone Productions, right? And then the product name, and I'll say Tutorial Platformer, and then version, you know, 0.1. That's fine. And then it has default icon and default cursor. So default icon, what you can do is find an image. So what you'll notice is if you go down here, you can override, and they have this 1024, 512, blah, 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 blah. Maybe make something around the 48 by 48 pixels. So if you want to make something specifically, go into Photoshop, make sure it's 48 by 48 or whatever your favorite rastered imaging editing software is. Plop that in, and then make your icon, save it somewhere. I would save it into your sprites maybe, just so that it's easy to access and it's always right there. With the rest of the stuff. So you just hit select. I'm just going to go ahead because this is the only thing I think that's that size. So I'm just going to use this. So I got this. That's going to be my default icon. That's just the icon that's going to be made for the game. Otherwise, it's going to be like that Unity. It's going to look like that. It's going to look like these. This symbol, and that's kind of lame. So anyway, make sure you use that. And then if you want to change the cursor instead of like this cursor, although I don't know why you would, you can make your own custom cursor and choose that as well, which is pretty cool. That's the only thing you really want to do is just to take that default icon. Even if you don't want to make a custom graphic, just grab something so it's not just a plain old whatever. Get some sort of picture, okay? So that represents your game. All right. Go like that, go like that. Make sure that you have all your scenes built up in here. So we should have already done this anyways at this point, but you should have a start screen and then all the subsequent screens, okay? Yay. So what you're going to want to do, if those aren't up there, what you want to do is go to your scenes folder, and you go to scenes folder, you'll see your scenes, go to like start screen, and then you'll hit add open scene, and then you'll go to like level 1, add open scene, level this one, add open scene, and then you can click and drag them and move them around. It goes from 0 to whatever level you have, right? So that's how it's set up. So you should have a start screen and then 3 levels. That should all be good. Then what you're going to want to do is go to build and run. Build and run. And then what I would do is I'm going to put it in test community, and I'm just going to make, I already made a folder. So we'll make a folder called builds. So you're going to go into your folder, make a folder called builds. Actually, let's make a new folder. New folder. Call it like whatever your game is. So I'll just call this Cone Platformer. Okay? Like that. So make it like your last name and then platformer, so that way I know whose it is, or whatever your game name is. I've seen all you guys' games, so I know whose is whose. So select that folder, and then you'll click on build. Or actually, sorry, it's already going to automatically build once you select the folder. And give it a second. Alright, there it goes. It's going to start building, and then as soon as it gets done building, gonna give you some weird things here. It's gonna pop open, right? And then you have your game. Yay! Okay. Mine's a little messed up right now, so I gotta fix something with that. Yep. And okay, see, it's like acting weird. I think my virus thing is getting in the way of it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wait. We'll just do Alt F4. There we go. Okay. So, it'll make the build, and then if you go to that folder, so if I go to desktop, and then what was that one called? I think it's like test games or something. I don't remember what I was naming it. Test game Unity, and then I'll see Cone Platformer, and then you can see there's the exe, and when you double click on that, your game will run, and you can give this folder to whoever, and that will be good. Okay, so. But I also want you to make a Mac version. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things here. I'm going to put a new folder in here, and I'll call it Win. We'll just call it Win. Okay. Take all the stuff that's in here, put it into the Win one. All right. So that way it's the Windows version. And then make another folder, new folder, and we'll call it Mac. Okay. Then what I want you to do is over here. We're going to switch it over to Mac. I'm going to go ahead and pause it so you don't have to wait for all the script compiling stuff. And I'm not going to click build and run because I don't have a Mac, or I'm on a PC. So I'll just click build. It's going to ask for the folder. So let me see. I'd go to Cone Platformer. This time I'm going to select the Mac folder and hit select folder. And it's going to build out that Mac version. And it's going to take a second. Now, what you can do as well, so you see I have this PC, Mac, and then I think it's Linux probably, right? Yeah, it's the stupid, I almost said duck, the penguin. So you can make those versions there. But you can see you can also do iOS, you can do Android. Now, you might not have these on by default. You might have to load them in. You can look up a thing on how to do that. But if they're not showing up here, it's just because when you installed it, you didn't turn those on as options. I don't remember if they're on by default or not. I also choose Webgl, so like in my website, you can play the games. You can actually make the game so they can embed. It'll make an HTML document, and the game's embedded in it, and then you can play it, which is awesome on any computer or whatever device because it's web. So that's pretty cool. So that's another option as well, is actually do the Webgl. But the main two I want for our class on Wednesday are just these two, because some of us have Macs and some of us have PCs, but this way anybody can play the games. Okay. Once that's done, what I want you to do is you're going to go to Google. Okay, Google. And I'm going to make sure I'm in my right account here. So let's see, am I in? I am. Okay, so go to Google, log into Google. Go to, actually, you don't even need to do this. I'm just going to show you, though. I'm going to go to my drive. I don't think I have anything weird on my drive. Let me double check. People share things with me. But on my drive, I have, I don't really have anything on here anyway, do I? No, there's nothing on there. Or I have a folder called Student Games. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this folder. I'm going to make a link. I'm going to get a shareable link, and then you guys will be able to drop your files in here for everybody else to look at your games. Okay, so in order to do that, what you're going to want to do once you're done is go to that folder that has the Mac and the Mac and the Win things here that has both of these. Go to that folder, just right click, and just send to zip file, zip folder. If it's a Mac, it's just right click compress, and it will make a compressed file. And once it's done zipping, I want you to upload that to the student games folder. Okay, you're just going to take this and you're going to drop it in here, and that way everybody will have access to the game. We can all grab them and everyone can play everyone's game. So that's the plan. All right. So yeah, do that before Wednesday at 6:30 when we have class. That's the goal. I'm trying to think if there's anything else with that. Yeah, and if you have any issues or something, let me know, and I will try to respond as best as I can.